just around the corner. Mark your calendar. Election Day is Tuesday, November 4th. We're getting ready and making sure you are too. This year you will notice some important changes that make voting even easier. Let's go over a few new items and some that are just a good reminder. November 4th is a statewide general election, meaning your ballot will contain races for candidates from the federal, state, and county levels of government, along with statewide ballot items. Plus, in Aurora, there are 4 important ballot issues and questions for your consideration. So where do you start? Check to make sure your registration is active and current. Even if you voted before, but have recently moved to Aurora or changed your address, you'll want to confirm or update your voter registration information. You can do that by going to govotecolorado.com. And if you're registering for the first time, you can do so up to and including Election Day. It's easy. We have links at auroragov.org, specially created to help you. This will be an all-mail ballot election, meaning your ballot should arrive in early October, so keep an eye on your mailbox. You can make your ballot selections at home and then either mail it back or drop it off in any number of ballot drop-off boxes. The Aurora City Clerk's office is one of many locations where you can drop off your ballot in person. New in 2014, the Aurora Municipal Center is going to be a vote center where you can take care of many election needs all in one place. You can register to vote, then actually vote, receive a replacement mail ballot, change your address, or drop off your completed ballot. We have you covered at the Aurora Municipal Center, or you can go to the following websites for a list of locations. And as always, the city will hold its Election Day drive-through mail ballot drop-off at the Aurora Municipal Center driveway. So while the deadline to drop off your ballot is Tuesday at 7 p.m., you don't have to wait until then to vote and drop off your ballot. This 2014 statewide general elections mail-in ballot process makes it easy to give everyone the chance to vote. From your mailbox and voting at home to Election Day drive-through service, you don't even have to get out of your car to deliver your ballot. It's about options and accessibility. Fill it out, mail it back, or drop it off, and make sure your vote counts. Contact us at 303-739-7094 or stay up to date with current election information by following us on Facebook and Twitter.
This year marks Aurora's 30-year designation as a Tree City USA. To achieve this, Aurora has met 4 standards established by the Arbor Day Foundation. These standards include having a tree board or department, a tree care ordinance, a community forestry program with an annual budget of at least $2 per capita, and observing and celebrating Arbor Day. But Tree City USA really embodies tree planting, and early spring is the perfect time to enhance our urban forest by planting a tree.
Hi, I'm City Forester John Wesolowski.
And I'm Erica Wirtz with the City of Aurora Forestry Division. Today we're going to demonstrate how to properly plant a tree.
Before you plant, get prepared. Call 811 to have a free utility locate done on your property. Locates can take 1 to 3 days, so plan ahead and be safe by always calling 811 before you dig.
So we've called in our locates and we've determined the proper location for planting our tree. Today we're planting an English oak, which is perfect for Colorado's climate.
Aurora Forestry can help you select the right tree species for your landscape.
Please visit auroragov.org/trees for more details.
When handling your new tree and bringing it home from the nursery or store, it's important to lift and carry the tree by the container or ball and never by the trunk.
The size of the planting hole should be twice as big as the container that the tree comes in. This encourages the roots to spread out.
Planting the tree at the right depth is critical for its health and survival. Before you dig, it's important to examine your tree and locate the root flare.
Now the root flare is sometimes buried a little bit too deep, so we have to look for it a little bit. And normally that first root flare is about the size of your pinky. So let's go ahead, take a little bit digging here to find that root flare. And there's that first order root and root flare, and that's going to determine the depth of your planting.
Your hole should be dug to a depth that will allow the root flare to sit just slightly above the ground when the hole is filled with soil.
Now we found that proper planting depth by finding that root flare, so let's just do a little bit of measurement to see how deep our hole should be. So at about 13 inches.
A good way to check the depth of your hole is to just put your shovel across the hole you just dug, and you can take your measuring tape here, and it looks like we're right at 12 to 13 inches, so we're at the right depth.
So since the tree we're planting today is in a container, we have to pay close attention to the root system. When trees grow in the container, the root system will hit the edge of the container and continue to wrap and grow around the tree, causing circling and girdling roots. So let's take this container off and I'll show you what we're talking about. So to get the container off, you just want to hit the sides a little bit, loosen up the soil a little bit, and this tree should pop just right out. So there we go. As we talked about, we do have some roots that have hit the edge of the container. They're starting to circle around into the pot, and we don't want the roots to grow that way. We want the roots to grow out and spread out into the soil. So we just tease those out a little bit and then clip them with our hand pruner, and we're ready to put the tree in the hole.
Now that the tree is in the planting hole, double check your depth, looking at the root flare. If you do need to make any adjustments, or if the tree is leaning to one side or the other, just tip the tree and add a little bit of soil beneath the root ball.
Larger trees often come as B&B or balled and burlapped, and sometimes have a wire basket or cage. You'll want to remove any excess burlap and cut the wire, taking great care not to disturb the root ball. See our website for more tips on how to plant a B&B tree. If the tree you're planting has bare roots, you'll want to hold it 2 inches above the target depth while filling the hole with soil until the tree is stable. The soil and tree will settle and sink.
Now there's a method for backfilling the hole. First, you want to put soil about halfway up into the hole. Once you got your hole about halfway filled, then you want to water that soil in to get rid of air pockets. Once that first shot of water goes into the soil, then you want to fill the rest of the hole up with the remaining soil that you got here.
Once the planting hole is completely filled with soil, you'll want to build a berm to help hold and capture water around the critical root zone. You can do this with soil, or you can use the leftover turf, which is what we're going to do. You just kind of want to go around the perimeter there and gently pat down the soil. Don't press too hard or use your feet. Just kind of gently pack it down. Now we'll water thoroughly, filling this basin we've just created by making the berm.
Now it's time to put the mulch down. A general rule of thumb is to keep the mulch about 3 to 4 inches away from the trunk. The trunk is meant to be open and free and clear of things. We don't want anything up against it, soil or mulch. Now the benefits of mulch are keeps moisture in, it prevents weed growth, and it also prevents erosion.
Proper watering is crucial to your new tree's health and survival. For the first 2 years after planting, it's best to water 2 to 3 times per week in the hot summer months and twice per month during the winter, as long as the temperature is above 40 degrees. And a good rule to follow is to simply measure the diameter of your new tree trunk. Every time you water, allow for 10 gallons per diameter inch of the tree trunk.
An easy method for watering your tree is simply called the bucket method. So get a 5-gallon bucket, drill 2 small holes in the bottom of the bucket, place at the base of the tree, and just fill it with water. Once that water is drained into the soil, then you just want to reposition the bucket to make sure that the tree gets watered thoroughly.
Aurora Forestry is here to help. Call us with your questions on tree planting and care at 303-739-7177.
Great job!